Hey there, Doc. Dr. Scott Doherty from ChiroLaunch here. We're talking about the 14 triggers that are going to help you create a ChiroLaunch in your own life and your own practice. Today we're on number 3, expand your perception of what's possible. Now, we spoke last time about ignoring the common methods, not doing what everybody else is doing, and stop doing what you've always done. And we talked about the fact that most doctors just get modest results because really it's all they go looking for. But if you're looking to launch your practice, if you're really looking for that fast, explosive growth that I keep talking about, it's time to start focusing on your possibilities rather than on your limits and your obstacles. All right? This launch that I keep talking about means moving outside of your own mental boundaries. If you just rethink how you're currently thinking, you can absolutely multiply your performance potential. You have to let your desires guide you in this process. So instead of allowing yourself to be boxed in by some perceived constraints, something you've been taught, something you've been conditioned to believe, you have to violate those boundaries. Violate the boundaries of what's probable to you or what you've been told is probable. It means achieving well beyond what you think is obvious. So don't limit your desires to what you think you can have. Start going after what you want. You have to give yourself permission to dream, to take risks. You have to set yourself free. A 10 or 20% improvement is not what we're looking for here, all right? That's not the ideal. That's just incremental gains. And although that might be challenging to get there, it doesn't represent a launch. And in fact, a launch is easier to take a bigger jump than it is to struggle to get there. An extra 10% or so is not what we want. A launch is dramatic, multiple gains, an exponential increase, all right? By definition, this means this launch is pretty astounding, and it's certainly unconventional. Now, please do not get the idea that anything you can think of is possible. It isn't. And don't go around telling anybody that Dr. Scott said it was, because I'm not that guy. But what I will tell you is that in some areas of your life, what is right within your reach is enough to blow your mind, all right? You can double, triple your performance, exponentially grow. Now, true, there are limits, but you don't need to worry about those. Your real limits, like the actual limits and where they are far beyond what your artificial mental boundaries are telling you. So those real limits won't box you in. Don't worry about those. The false ones you're carrying around your mind are the ones that you need to worry about. Those are a self-imposed prison. And the only way to break out of that prison is to surrender. All right? You have to give up some of your old beliefs. You have to sacrifice some of your sensible thinking patterns. All right? Common sense is not going to be your friend here. In fact, it's a curse. It's going to put a ceiling on how far you can go, on how far you can reach, on how high you can fly. All right, these launches that I keep talking about are based on completely uncommon sense. So get over your perception right now. Reach a little farther than you think you can, because again, although there are limits up there, those real limits are way beyond what you currently think you can do. So expand your own perception of what's possible. I love to see all the comments. Please put some down below, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Thank you for joining me for this video series on the 14 tips or tricks on creating a ChiroLaunch experience in your own practice and in your own life. Before you go, I just want to take a quick second and explain to you about a service that I offer, kind of my flagship product. As most of you know, I travel around the country pretty frequently. I'm out there meeting with doctors, doing on-site evaluations, picking up new CrossFit t-shirts, enjoying new restaurants, and I really enjoy my travel. And as I'm out there, I do these initial practice evaluations that I call them, where I actually come on site. I meet with you in your office, and I get a lot of questions about what exactly happens when I do these evaluations. So I'll make it quick, but briefly, I just come in, I meet with you, you give me a tour of the office, kind of show me how you practice. I get to see the flow of your practice. I get to see what kind of equipment you use, what kind of equipment you don't use. And then we sit down, we go over basically everything about your practice, your statistics, your billing procedures, your marketing. We talk about your staff. We pretty much go over everything. Typically takes anywhere from 90 to 120 minutes to get all that done. From that point, I take off, usually go back home, and I draw up a little action plan for you. That action plan is step by step, sequentially, what I would do if I were you, if I were in your position over the next 6 to 12 months, depending on the situation. I get called into a lot of specialty situations, so a lot of guys that looking to sell their practice, looking to bring an associate on, looking to add a new service, whether it be massage or physical therapist or even an MD. Transitions is kind of my specialty, so that's why I get called into a lot. So again, depending on the situation, depends on how long the action plan is going to take. So A few days later, I email it over to you. We get on the phone. I walk you right through it, tell you exactly what I would do if I were you. And again, as I'm traveling around, I used to charge $9.95 for these evaluations. People used to call me when I first started consulting, fly me out. For $9.95, I do this evaluation. These days, since I travel so much and I've kind of figured out how to travel and do it on the cheap, I do them for much lower prices. So I always have a special promotion going on if I'm going to be in your area. I'm sure there's a link down below, so go ahead and click on that. That's going to take you to a new page explaining to you again what's going on right now in my life, where I'm going to be, what my schedule's like, and how you can take advantage of that opportunity to have me come into your practice and do that evaluation at a very special price. So keep enjoying the videos. I'll talk to you soon.